Welcome to another In Wheel Time podcast, a 30-minute mini version of the In Wheel Time car show that airs live every Saturday morning, 8 to 11 a.m. Central. Live from the Looking Glass Studios, it's the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show. Just ahead, had a chance to drive the all-new Mazda CX-50.
Okay.
And it was, I'll tell you about it. I'll give you my thoughts on it. We'll also have the cruise-in calendar, and later, Conrad has This Week in Auto History.
Yes, I do.
Yep.
It's just ahead in this edition of the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show. Howdy, along with Mike, fiddling with the microphone, Mars, King Conrad DeLong. We need more Jeff Zekin.
Yeah.
And I'm Poncho Claus.
There you go.
So thank you very much for joining us today. We had a fabulous preview. We hope that you got to see it, and that's why you've joined us on this edition of the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show. We are a car talk show, and we talk about cars.
And food. And life.
Yes. We kind of jumble it all up, and it can be.
Don's exes.
Why do you have to
I know,
go
he's always
there?
gotta go
You
there.
always have to go there.
So early.
I know.
I know. And it's just not.
We'll get there.
I'll tell you what. You can talk about my exes if we can rat on you about your Oldsmobile that's parked in the garage.
Well, we do that
You do
anyways.
anyhow.
Yeah.
Well, we can do it again. Kind of like you ratting me out of my 3 marriages.
All right, boys. To separate you.
Thanks, Dad.
Exactly. Well, at any rate, that's kind of the whole thing of this show. We kind of rat each other out and lean on one another now and then. We don't have a phone-in guest this hour, but I thought that I would start off on a great note. It's chilly outside. And speaking
Yes,
of
it
chilly,
is.
I thought, wow, this is a great day. Chili or gumbo. And you have to start now
Oh, gumbo.
to let it get all.
No, you should have started yesterday.
Well, you could, but
Yeah.
we didn't yesterday because it was still 80 degrees outside.
Chili
Yeah.
with beans or without beans?
No
Without-
beans.
Without.
Beans is a filler in chili.
Gumbo-
I don't know. I
gumbo-
never
That's all it
understood
is.
that.
Gumbo is all about the roux.
Correct.
You do the roux correctly, and gumbo is great.
Yeah.
That's a good idea. I might have to get some gumbo on the way home
Why don't you make it?
because I can't make it in time to eat it.
Would you move that microphone a little bit closer, please? It's like you're talking off mic and I can't hear you. Okay. You can't make it in time.
Well, I can, but it takes a while to make good gumbo.
Have you ever been down to this, what is it, Jake's or whatever this place is on the freeway? They never have. It's a Cajun place.
Oh, you're
not
talking.
bad.
It's there next to the hospital.
Yeah.
It's not. It's. I know who you're talking about. I've been there early on when it first opened a few years ago.
Yeah.
It's all right to me, but I'm not a really big restaurant seafood eater. I'd rather have seafood at home. Yeah. So there you go. All right. How about you?
Well, I like seafood, but I generally eat it when I go out because it's so much trouble to cook it at home.
Well, no, that stinks up the house.
Well, that
No,
and
but if you grill it, I grill fish. It's good. So you don't.
we do with the shrimp and the crabs and
Well, there's ointment for that.
Gumbo today.
Gumbo today.
And you know what? I'll bet you that HEB makes a good pot of gumbo and for
You
sale.
can probably,
I
you can
think
probably
they
get
do.
them pre-made.
I
There you go.
might have to go try some.
There's an HEB right around the corner here.
Yes. I did mention in our preview, and I'm just going to go ahead and get this out of the way, and I might have to mention it several times because if you listen to a regular watcher, viewer, fan of the show, you'll know that I've been kind of ragging on Carvana for quite some time now with the car vending machines. God. Well, Pennsylvania regulators have
get in line.
suspended 2 Carvana company locations in the state
Following
from
Michigan.
performing motor vehicle titling and registration actions. The online used car retailers' locations in Philadelphia and Bridgeville, a Pittsburgh suburb, have been placed on the Pennsylvania Department of Transportation's list of suspended issuing agents, meaning the Carvana outlets are temporarily blocked from handling titling and registration matters, though they can continue to sell vehicles. I don't understand that, but whatever. The department cited Carvana for administrative contract violations, according to a spokesperson for the regulatory agency. And last week I mentioned to you that Carvana is in some deep doo-doo when it comes to the people that actually have shares of the company because they lost like $100 billion in the
Gazillion,
last
yeah.
quarter. It's ugly. It's ugly. There are other places to buy used cars other than Carvana.
Yeah.
How do you sell a car without changing the title?
Well,
That's why they're in trouble.
and I don't know what the problem is, but the only thing that I can think of is
Money.
So instead of paying the money, Carvana paying the money to the state after I sell you the car, Carvana, sell you the car, instead of paying the money, I'm going to put it in my back pocket and hold it for 30 days or 45 days. In most states, it gives you 30 days to license the car and pay the fee and all that. Not Carvana. They're using the money.
Oh, sure. You think if you've got 500,000 cars across the country and they can delay that by 30 days, 45, 60 days, that amounts to a couple of $1 million quickly.
Quickly.
Yeah.
Yep.
So,
And let's face it, I mean, they're not selling, $500,000 cars. They're selling $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 cars. Well, we're going to talk to Mac DeLopp about that because he's going to be a guest later on in the show today.
It'd be good to see Matt again.
Yeah, I don't understand doing business like that. First of all, I know that it's a new day and a new age, and people are buying cars online and having them dropped off at their house.
and they advertise the daylights out of it.
And it's like,
Not me.
how would
Couldn't do it.
you don't know what you're getting?
I'm
Well,
tired.
here's the Carfax. Well, okay.
How true is that in most cases, too? I'm a tire kicker. You gotta kick the tire.
Carfax is pretty accurate.
Well, yes, but Carfax themselves, but they're also people that are they're unscrupulous to maybe
Reporting to them.
exactly.
Well, we're going to have Carfax on later on today.
Yes.
Yes, we are.
Carfax
Patrick.
is pretty accurate.
That's right. But let's just use this as an example, okay? I go to the Hertz Rent-A-Car sales lot. Car's been dogged out. It's got 60,000 miles on it now. Never been wrecked. Never had an insurance claim on it. But I've rented a few cars
Leak
in my
from every
lifetime.
orifice. Yep.
And let me tell you something. One of them, I had flat spotted at least the two back tires by having some fun with the rear brakes and the emergency brake. Pull it up on, yeah. What are you shaking your head for?
He's one of
You
those.
got to. You have never done that.
I would never admit to it.
Particularly on the radio.
I've never done it.
That's what we're talking about. You have done it.
Oh,
You've
yeah.
done. We've all done it.
No, because when we rented cars with the company I was with, that if you damaged that car, you were personally responsible.
There was no
for it.
damage.
If they found out you damaged it, like
was
if
no
you
damage.
spilled a Coke in the car,
No,
or
we didn't do that.
If you smoked when it was a non-smoking
No.
car, you were all personally liable to that.
I'm with you.
Yeah.
That's the way ours was.
Yeah, you're
but
personally liable.
But just regular maintenance issues like
No.
new tires or brakes.
Somebody flat spotted the
Why
tires.
does
I
this
didn't
tire
do
look
it.
square?
Did you drive the car after you rented it to the last guy? He must have flat spotted the tires. It wasn't me. It just goes down the road.
How'd that go again?
Or you've got bits of rubber in the wheel well.
There's that. In the front
What-
wheel
yeah,
well,
what
from the
happened
front
there?
wheel drive cars after you've spun the tires off of them.
Yeah.
Or the NASCAR cars that catch fire because all the rubber packed in the wheel
Why are
wells.
there footprints on the ceiling? Well, you never know.
Or like the contractor that was laying asphalt down on Highway 146, and they made a mistake in the mix, and they laid it down, and then they let the cars go over the top of it, and it just all balled up inside the wheel wells of
Oh,
all
no.
the cars. Remember that? It happened about, 3 or 4 years ago. And the cars they could barely pull over to the side of the road because the whole wheel well was
stuck
full of all of the uncured asphalt.
Sort of like when you drive in the snow, how it all piles up in the.
Exactly.
Very similar. Yep.
Oh my God, what a nightmare that was.
That had to be an expensive insurance claim.
Ooh. Yeah. Would you even dare turn that into the insurance company because if somebody didn't add the right amount of flour and salt to the mixture? And
And then the question is, would Carfax know? Oh, all the way back to the beginning of this
See
conversation.
what I mean?
Exactly.
Was it reported to Carfax?
Yeah, no, it wasn't because somebody got a hold of it and dug all of the asphalt out from the wheel wells to let it steer again. But you get underneath, but you get underneath the car, and here is all of this uncured asphalt everywhere under the chassis of the car.
Undercoating.
There you go.
Good sound.
With rocks in it.
Yeah.
Muffler, everything.
Everything all balled up and just awful.
I used to spray undercoat in 70, 78, 79 at Eskridge Oldsmobile. That was one of the things that they sold was undercoating.
But that was more of an oil.
It was kind of a tar,
A liquid.
a black
Yeah.
tar.
Yeah, but you semi-controlled where you put it.
Oh yeah, you put a gun in it. And actually, and this is how weird it is. It was a BG product back then when I was turning wrenches, long before I worked for them. And you put the can on the end of a gun, and you knew where you wanted to spray.
Right.
And you sprayed everything. And you made sure you didn't spray things you didn't want to spray.
It was truly amazing to me. When we moved down here from Wisconsin way back in the dark ages, everything in Wisconsin, if you had a new car, you definitely wanted to have undercoating, especially back in the 50s and the 60s.
just to protect it.
Yeah, because they would rust right through it in 2 years' time.
Insides of the doors, they'd spray it. Oh, yeah.
But for some reason, somehow, people down here, where there is no salt on the roads, there is not a rust issue per se, the car dealer would sell people undercoating. Why?
Because it's a profit center.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And one guy, the guy that worked changing oil, Leon, here he was. It was over everything.
Oh gosh. Yeah, you had to be careful.
Exhaust pipes, transmission
You go, Leon.
linkage. Yeah.
And where's Leon today? He works for Carvana.
Yeah.
That's right. What are you going to say, Mars?
I'm trying to think of the name
Are
of that
you sucking
place.
on some sort of lozenge again?
Say have it true. I was trying to think of the name. There was a chain of stores.
Z-Bart.
Z-Bart. That was
Z-Bart.
it. They'd actually drill holes in the body.
Oh, yeah.
To
And
be able to
rockers
spray
and all that,
inside.
yeah.
Right.
You could always tell if it'd been Z-Bart because there was little yellow plugs.
And hopefully they didn't do it while the electric windows were down.
Yeah, because then you get it all over the mechanism and the glass and all that.
Oops.
No, there's lots of things dealers sell for additional dealer
Etching.
profit.
Oh,
Yep.
absolutely.
The paint protectant, the fabric protectant.
Mm-hmm.
In all the years I worked for General Motors,
Let
I've
us
never
Scotch guard that.
I've never seen a claim paid for any of that paint protectant or fabric protectant stuff.
That's the reason I bought a Honda instead of a Camry one time, because I wanted the Camry. I liked the way it looked, but I told the dealer I don't want the window etching. I don't need all this stuff on this. And he said that's just the way it is. So I walked away and went and bought the Honda. I have since learned that the Toyota importer for the 5-state area, he puts it on there before it gets to the dealer. At the time, back in 2000, I thought it was the dealer doing it, but they come to them that
Friedkins.
Yeah.
way.
The Friedkins.
Yeah, well, Gulf
Yeah.
States Toyota.
Yeah, Gulf States.
Well,
Friedkins.
I wasn't going to say Gulf States Toyota, but I was trying to be nice. But it's basically Gulf States Toyota.
Well, that's not being
But-
derogatory. They did it. I mean,
Each of the distributors that bring in imports do that. The Honda dealers, the Honda distributor does it, as does the Nissan distributor. So it's not
Well, the
exclusive.
Honda I bought wasn't that way.
Well, they have. Maybe they didn't then.
yeah, well.
Now, when I was with AutoNation as a buyer rep, they used to do it at the dealer. If you didn't want it, they wouldn't put it on. But it was the glass etching, mainly
Right.
glass, and that's all it was. So you could deny it. And
That's
they would-
what I always thought it was, and but the Camry, I couldn't get the Camry without it. He said, "You're not going to buy any Toyota," and I looked on the lot, and sure enough, they all had it.
yeah, I've walked
Because it
away
was
from.
done at the port of entry.
Yes,
I
I've
walked
learned
away,
that
I
since.
walked away from several car deals, and I said, I'm not buying undercoating. I'm not buying etching. I'm not buying your window. I don't want any of that stuff. Well, it's too well. Okay,
See ya.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
And that's your choice as a buyer.
Yeah, because it was like, I don't know, $2,000-$3,000 worth of extras on the white piece of paper next to the window sticker.
Yes.
And
No.
And their true cost was probably $200 or $300.
Well, but again, the dealer did. Well, in some cases, the dealer did some of that, but in the case of the Camry, the Toyota, with them doing it at the port of entry, with Gulf States Toyota doing it, the dealer has no choice. They don't have any costs in it. because it's already there. I
It's
mean,
already
they've
on
already
the invoice.
yeah, they've already paid for it.
It's like your destination charges.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway, back to the Carvana thing. I cannot imagine, and I know that millions of people are now buying cars, used cars online and having it delivered to the house. And you never hear of the problems that come with cars like that the new owner has to deal with.
By sight unseen.
Yeah. And you know that there are. I mean, okay, put some new tires on it. Well, that's not going to cover up the fact that it needs new shocks or it's got a leaky one or whatever.
Bushings,
Granted that
yeah.
it has gone through some sort of an inspection process, but still, you know it's a car. It's got a million parts on it.
Depending on the miles on it.
Right. And where those miles have come from. Has it gone over unpaved roads all its life? You
Oh,
never
yeah.
know that stuff.
Yeah.
And what recourse do you have as a
None.
buyer?
None. Because most of them, it's like 30 days and you're done.
30 feet or 30 seconds.
Yeah. And I'm sure that there's some ugliness to go along with all of that, but you never hear that.
Well, maybe there'll be reviews you can look at on the site or, Google whatever site and find out.
Yeah. It'd be interesting to do a survey. Hey, have you bought a car from these online retailers that have it delivered to your house?
That might be something I could look into for next week. The reviews.
Would you?
Of that. Yeah, I'll do that.
Do that.
George says to bring back Art Grindle.
Art Grindle Dodge. Yeah. He'd jump up and down in the cars. So he'd have his entire staff. Are you familiar with Art Grindle? None? Are any of you? You are? You didn't live here then.
No, but I've seen the commercials.
Art Grindle was a car dealer here on OST. This is back in the 60s. And he would basically have every employee, including the lady that mops the floors at night, and have them all the used cars lined up and live on television. He would get out there and he would hawk these used cars. Some of them smoking, some of them not even running. Seriously, they'd have to push the car through the little area where the camera was located. And he'd jump up and down on them, and the price of the car was $500, and if it didn't run, I'll sell this to you right now for $100. And he'd sell every one of his cars, every one of those. And he went down to Florida after he closed up shop here. He moved to Florida and did the same thing down there until he died.
Wow.
What a character. Look it up online. Go to YouTube. Art Grindle. Absolutely
And
wonderful.
there was one Cal
Worthington.
Cal Worthington.
And his dog Spot.
Yeah.
And the dog was
a lion
or an
Tiger,
alligator or
bear,
whatever.
Elephant.
Yeah. And Cal Worthington actually is the one that bought Richardson Chevrolet and moved it to the new location where it is now, which is what is it now? Is it Auto Nation? I don't know what it is.
No,
it's
no,
over there
no.
in Sharpstown.
It's a classic Chevrolet.
No, it can't be. Is it a
Yeah,
classic?
yeah. You're right. Yeah.
Yeah, it's,
Well,
it's,
they don't advertise it.
No, not at all.
They don't advertise it.
Hillcroft and 59.
That's it. Yeah.
But there's so many out there. I mean, look at the Cadillac dealership that's on there, Beltway in 59. It's changed to third ownership.
David Taylor.
Now.
It used to be David
Used to be
Taylor.
David
And
Taylor.
now 6 names down the road, it's
now
still
it's
there.
Sterling McCall.
No, it's something else now.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, I can't remember. I went by there the other day.
That's crazy.
See,
And,
David Taylor actually started downtown
Right.
off of McGowan, where McGinnis Cadillac was, where
Yep.
Mossy Oldsmobile was, where Sam White Oldsmobile
Well, those
was.
are blasts from the
is the
past
building
there.
still there?
Yep.
It is. Because that
Multi-leveled.
Yep. Old building, probably from the 30s.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
Something
they've
like
actually
that.
David Taylor when they went to Sterling. Now they're in the BMW store because they've all kind of like flip flopped.
Switched around.
Yeah.
Yeah, that whole thing out there at the Beltway
crazy.
in 59, it's a
Every week is
everybody's
different.
moving
Everybody's switching
here.
around.
Matter of fact, the BMW dealership bought the old Sears store at Westwood Mall.
And they moved down there. Yeah.
Yep.
Crazy. Of course, they had look at the size of the parking lot that
Yeah.
they had.
And that is a monster of a BMW dealership.
It really is. Well, good use of an old Sears store.
Well, they've got 24 service advisors, like 65 technicians.
Wow.
It's a monster of a BMW store.
And who owns it? Is
That's
it
Group 1.
Group 1? Yeah.
And Steve Salamone, a long-term friend of mine, is,
I know Steve.
is the parts director there.
He was Was he service over on the store on
He was
290?
he was at Monday.
Monday.
He was at Monday.
Was he
parts
service or
guy, and
parts?
He was parts first, and then service.
Right.
And then went. But he originally started. I remember him from the Chevy store down by the Astrodome.
Was Monday up on 1960?
1960 and
Salamone.
45.
That is a blast from the past there.
Yep.
Wow.
He's,
There are
he's
some
a,
of
he's
us
a funny
old people
hoot.
still around.
Yeah, he's a nice guy.
Well, we've managed to,
Burn through it.
yeah, we certainly have. I'd like to remind everybody that if you'd like to get in touch with us, shoot us an email. The address is info@inwheeltime.com. Time now for the Cruise In calendar. And boy, I'll tell you what, tomorrow would be a nice, crisp morning, and the sun is supposed to be shining tomorrow. Ooh, yeah.
Do you have
Wash the
anything-
car this afternoon, get out and go to a car show.
You got a gumbo cruise in or anything?
No, that'd be a good idea.
a gumbo cruise?
Drive into a gumbo.
Yeah.
Car show and concert at Victory Outreach Church in Houston, off of Berry Road, and that's an open show. Cars and cocktails and clutches at 5334 Washington.
Cars.
Cocktails and clutches
Okay.
at 3 p.m. Off of Washington Avenue. 4 p.m. Nifty 50s Mustang night at 2250 Buckthorn Place up in the Woodlands. The Concert Pub North Cruise In at 2470 Cypress Creek Parkway, which is 1960, and that starts at 5 p.m. The Splendora Car Meet starts at 6 p.m. off of 2090 in Splendora. At 7 p.m. is the 610 Night Cruise Meet at the Taco Cabana off of East Freeway in Houston. Chassis for Charity, Texas Huddle Grill and Sports Bar off of NASA Parkway in Webster. That starts at 10 p.m. tonight.
Chassis for charity.
Chassis
Clever.
for Charity. And then, let's see. Tomorrow is Car Culture Limitless in Pearland Town Center. That starts at 8 a.m. At 11 a.m. is Cars, Cans, and Cuts Covert Country up in Hutto, Texas.
Well, run that by me again.
Cars, Cans, and Cuts. At
What is that? What is cans and cuts?
I have absolutely no idea.
Would that be?
But Covert Country,
Maybe
which
it's
is
a knife fight.
Rock's one of the Covert stores. You know, Covert
Yeah.
is Bastrop and Austin and stuff. They own.
Is
the
that up
store
at
in
Cut and
Hutto.
Shoot, maybe?
No, Hutto.
No, Hutto's north of Austin.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And then Classic and Custom Car Show off of DeMitt in Crystal City, Texas tomorrow. 4 p.m. is Test and Tune. No, they canceled that. I'm sorry, from weather. The Toy Drive and Car Show at Food Town off of Decker Road in Baytown tomorrow at 8 a.m. 4 p.m. tomorrow, Cars and Cigars off of Richmond Parkway. Down in Richmond, Octane and Espresso at Black Rifle Coffee.
That's the same.
At 8 a.m. tomorrow, 7086 Highway 6 North. And then finally on the Monday night meet at Becker Wraps in College Station.
Time now for this hour's car review. The 2023 Mazda CX-50 50. I have to tell you that this is an all-new Mazda from the ground up. Comes in many trim levels. It comes in S, then Select, then Preferred, Preferred Plus, Turbo Meridian, Turbo Premium, and Turbo Premium Plus.
Wow.
So,
And which one did you have?
I happen to have the, let's see what it says here. I happen to have the Premium Plus package with all-wheel drive.
But not turboed.
Oh, yes, 2.5 liter turbo. It is a small SUV, 2 rows of seats, front and middle, if you want to call it that. 4 passengers plus the driver. All new for 2023. The only thing to differentiate the CX-50 from other SUVs in the class is the grille and the oversized rear wheel bulges. Bodywork in the back.
Yeah.
Mazda grille that we're all familiar with. Faux brake vents under the rear bumper, which I thought was interesting because of the extra large size haunches on this thing. They had room to do something, so they put some fake
Brake vents in
Actually,
it?
and it looks pretty good. be honest with you. Mazda-style taillights with dual exhaust. Overall look is Subaru-esque. I think that's the line. Do we have some sort of a lung problem over here between you and Mars? Have you all been sleeping together or something?
I don't know what's going
Cuddling.
Cuddling. The infotainment system that is controlled by a big joy knob in the center of the console still have a problem with that kind of control. Matter of fact, I won't get into it, but I have been driving another car that still has that.
Touchpad.
Oh, God, it's like, really?
Must be a Lexus.
Clam-style center console doors on this Mazda,
on. All right.
which are kind of cumbersome, actually.
Yeah.
And she's got those on her Mercedes. I'm
not
really
a big
care for
fan.
them.
Nice-looking seating surfaces. Seats are comfortable. Plastic door panels. Cargo trunk room adequate for this two-row.
Good looking interior, though.
Yeah, it is.
Color-wise and shapes and stuff.
Yes. It's funny because all of the car manufacturers these days have really stepped up, for the most part, with the interiors. I think they've realized that is a huge selling point since the exteriors all kind of look the same.
Yeah.
What could use improvement? In this particular one, I'd love to have seen a passive phone charger. There is room to put one. Why they don't, I don't understand. Key fob that doesn't have buttons on the edge of the fob.
Oh, because you engage it while you're putting them away or handling
Or in your
them.
pocket.
You put it in your pocket, and your other stuff that you've got in your pocket hits that edge of for the buttons, and off it goes. I don't understand why they did it that way, but again, there's a lot of things in
supposed
life
to hang
that I
it from
don't
your belt.
understand. Okay, 2.5-liter turbocharged engine, 227 horsepower, 310 pound-feet of torque.
That's pretty good.
6-speed automatic transmission. It'll tow up to 3,500 pounds. Gets 23 in the city, 29 on the highway for a combined at 25. I got 24.9 miles per gallon over 345.5 miles. Not too bad. Power-to-weight ratio is good with this optional motor in it. What could use improvement? I'd like to have seen a little bit better mileage, but 30 miles to the gallon is kind of good these days.
Oh,
Yeah.
gosh, yeah.
Yeah.
Ride and handling. The handling was excellent, and the ride was sporty and not too stiff. What could use improvement? Nothing. If you're an aficionado, you'll like its Miata style.
Did you have the double roof? The double sunroof?
Never, I think I did, but
not a sunroof.
I'm
No,
not-
I know that. But that's kind of a cool little feature, is the double sunroof.
Yeah,
You
so
have
you
a
can get
sunroof.
hotter quicker. Base trim price $42,300.
Oh.
The delivery charge is $1,275, so that bumps it up to $43,575. Base model price is $27,550. Now,
not
if you
bad.
can
That's the
find
entry,
one,
yeah.
if you can find one, I think I'd go with that. Competitors: Honda CR-V 37,150, Subaru Forester 32,255. No, I did not. Mazda CX-5 is 26,700, and it is a competitor to its own brother,
Wow.
which is kind of strange. All right. Time now for a quick break. The In Wheel Time Car Show streams on the iHeartRadio app and Facebook, YouTube, and InWheelTime.com. 30-minute podcast available from your favorite podcast provider. In Wheel Time Car Talk Show continues right after this quick break. Starting to work on your Christmas calendar? Be sure to add the next Tailpipes and Tacos Cruise-In Saturday, December 17th. You'll want to attend Tailpipes and Tacos Christmas Edition at the Loopy Tortilla in Katy, 8 to 11 a.m. It's the only place cruisers compete for Loopy's Chili Pepper trophies and other prizes. There's no charge to enter your vehicle for Best Hot Rod, Best Classic, or Best Modern Classic. Tailpipes and Tacos is Houston's coolest and most unique cruise-in and is your opportunity to see the best hot rods, show cars, classics, and resto mods. And get Loopy Tortilla breakfast tacos with adult beverages. There's no entry fee, and cars will automatically compete for those much sought-after custom Loopy trophies and other prizes. It happens at the Loopy Tortilla Tex-Mex in Katy on the Grand Parkway at Kingsland Boulevard, just south of I-10. It's the Tailpipes and Tacos Christmas Edition, Saturday, December 17th. The In Wheel Time Car Talk Show will be there too. Celebrate the Christmas season with friends and family at Tailpipes and Tacos. Saturday morning, December 17th, 8 to 11. We'll see you then, weather permitting.
Hey, Houston! America's greatest hot rod tradition is back! Thanksgiving weekend! The O'Reilly Auto Parts Autorama! At the George Hart Brown Convention Center. 4 action-packed days of hot rods, customs, classics, trucks, performance cars, and live music. Do not miss the Ultimate Lowrider Showcase, sponsored by Shorty's Hydraulics and the Traditional Rod Garage. Saturday only, it's the Tuner Galleria with 250 imports, JDM, and luxury cars, plus music and models. On the celebrity stage, presented by Nick's Auto Repair and Classic Car Restoration, meet Bad Chad and wife Jolene from Bad Chad Customs on Friday. Saturday, it's Dave Kindig from TV's Bitch and Rise. Sunday, it's Danny Coker and Kevin Mack from TV's Counting Cars. Shop the swap meet and women's world all weekend. The O'Reilly Auto Parts Autorama. November 25th to 28th at the George R. Brown Convention Center. Discount tickets at O'Reilly Auto Parts, part of the Summer Racing Equipment Show Car Series. See Autorama.com for more info.